Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the unofficial sequel to the Topsy Turvy Lin video. I was surprised that people received that video very well. It was very experimental. We had no idea what to expect, and the main draw was the fact that it's very unconventional. Like, you would assume the very worst, but it turns out that the reduction from magic to magic from strength wasn't that much. Like, there was a 60-point difference, and usually that wouldn't be negligible, but because Lin has, high skill and high luck, it didn't matter. So we're gonna do the same thing with Ryoma, but this time there's going to be a much more dramatic difference, because I believe he actually has, like, the lowest magic stat in the entire game. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get rid of the anti-triangle on Raijinto, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I think, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the anti-triangle, then put it back later. I also had a Draco Slayer attribute on it, but I don't think we'll need to worry about finding another one like that. So yeah, we're going to quickly give ourselves this, and we're going to see what the difference is. My assumption is that this is literally just going to be like very low damage for his basic combos, but then once it's time for him to start hitting crits, then he's going to do some crazy damage. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and pair him up. Let's see, I'm actually kind of thinking, because I would like to pair him up with someone that does not increase magic, and I'm going to assume that will be, probably pair him up with a spear user. Okay, let's see, let's find out a map that we can get, shall we? Oh, do you know what? No, let's go to the map where you get the Raijinto scroll. I believe it's this one? Bear with me here. I have not done this in a while. Okay, Camilla's axe now. Okay, it's the Noble Lady of Kalen then. If my memory serves me right. Yes, okay. This is going to be interesting. I was very happy though. There was a really warm reception to the Topsy Turvy Lin video. And unfortunately, this will be the last Topsy Turvy experimental video that we'll be doing. I'm very happy though. There have been a lot of requests. People have been asking for like Takumi, people have been asking for Tiki, Camilla. I feel like Camilla could be pretty good just because she has actually a fairly high magic stat in comparison to all the other axe users. Well, except for Alyssa. Well, in comparison to most of the attackers, so I don't think that's really going to be that much of an issue. So what we're going to do is that we're going to set Ryoma here, and we're going to pair him up with... I think Frederick would end up giving him... Hang on, what kind of units do we have to fight against? We got like some mercenary sword users. Okay, Sita, you're up then. Actually no, not Sita, we had Sita last time. Okay, let's use Hinoka, because I'm pretty sure Hinoka has like no magic buffs. I mean, yeah, no magic buffs. I want to make sure that we have the lowest, because as you guys can see here, he has a whopping 9 magic. I believe that is... Oh no, Frederick actually has the lowest. Man, I feel really silly having it now. But yeah, like, the thing is though about Ryoma is that, again, it's all about that moveset that he has, the high critical damage. I think with Frederick, even with him, like, he has relatively high skill anyway, so it would still patch up. Man, that's actually really tough to see. Okay, so Frederick would have the lowest one? I guess he does. Yikes. But a lot of people have been requesting Ryoma, so we're actually going to go ahead and try Topsy Turvy on him. You guys should have suggested Frederick. And we're gonna have Indestructible Xander taking point. So that's gonna be nice. Yes. So this should be interesting. But like I was saying earlier though, I think Camilla could actually be fairly good just because she has the relatively high magic, relatively high skill stat. Her luck's kind of low, but I don't think that matters as much because honestly she just has her great attacks anyway. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at this damage. Yikes. Yeah, see, it's that skill. It's that skill stat that makes him win out at the end. So the same thing is going to happen with Frederick actually, is that Frederick would have the really high skill to kind of make up for the fact that he has the lowest magic in the game. Yeah, so I actually don't think there would be that much of a difference. So that's kind of the reason why we made these videos in the first place, or why I decided to try Topsy Turvy, and it's because we actually aren't 100% sure. Like, we do know that strength and magic affect damage, but thing is though, we don't know like to the extent. You know how like most games they have their like it scales by a factor of, I don't know, like 0.3% in the case of Luna. So that's basically what this is though. It's very interesting because really, like, you're really only using Topsy Turvy to actually optimize the damage, but you're not necessarily making the damage stronger. You're not necessarily making them stronger. You're just, you know what I mean? It's like you're optimizing the damage, but you're not necessarily like giving yourself a huge boost if you decide to go magic or you decide to go strength. It's just that you wanted to do the higher stat. So that's kind of the case with characters like, say, Cordelia or Celica. Those two characters have the exact same magic and the exact same strength, and based on what we've seen with this, like with Ryoma, and still being able to clean house using just his magic stat, I actually don't think that there would be much of a difference. It's more just I'm in this stage in my progression where I need to deal with, you know, tanky, high defense creatures or high resistance creatures, which is why you would take the physical damage. So that's kind of what's happening here. I think part of the reason why too, it might also be because we're late game. So I can't really say for sure. One of my hypotheses for actually running this was the fact that, like, I was thinking that levels actually don't mean anything, or they do. It's just that they're not as impactful as you would like. So I think that's kind of true in the sense that, like, you know, like, you have low strength, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be weak. My original thought was if you have the good equipment and the good skills, then you are fine. But I think not all skills are made equal, because you can see here Ryoma has like triple digits for skill and luck, which is why having only 9 magic to work with, is like not an issue for him. Like, he's tearing through them with his regular attacks. Also, I think stun gauge also lowers the defense of the enemies as well. He didn't even have to worry about armor strikes. It's crazy. Like, Ryoma's damage is so high that he doesn't even need strength. Unbelievable. This actually opens up some interesting possibilities. I thought of it just now. I realize that you don't even need to have strength plus 10 then. Strength plus 10 and magic plus 10 are just there because you like to have extra damage, but like you could totally fill up that slot with something else. Because I believe, wait, does Hinoka have... Hang on, let's check. Yeah, Hinoka has a solidarity, and that has nothing to do with like stat scaling. That's very interesting. I just realized that we actually can free up slots. Wow. This is so weird what we're doing right now. Oh yeah, and like also Ryoma has like the highest damage, or one of the highest damage of a dual warrior special. The thing is though, is I think someone looked into it, but apparently the main factor for doing damage in a warrior special, it's both strength and skill, but to a much higher extent with skill. So theoretically, Takumi would have the strongest one because he has the highest skill stat in the entire game. But the thing is though, it's just like, obviously you kind of pick preference, because I believe also the angles in which the dual warrior specials, or the AoE in which the deal that are affected by the dual warrior specials are different every time. Like, this is kind of a weird breakthrough actually. It's like yeah, strength plus 10 is not that big of a deal. It's all about having luck. Celica's luck plus 20 then. Celica's luck plus 20 and Luna, I think, would be the best skill, so I'm actually gonna have to amend my attribute video later. That's crazy. Like, I actually think that's really weird. But yeah, I think luck plus 20 would just do so much more damage if that's the case, because I think luck and skill are just that much more impactful. So yeah, be it resolved. Yeah, be it resolved that Celica's luck plus 20 and Chrom's Luna skill are the... Oh yeah, and Takumi's skill plus 10 are the best skill crests in the game. Then you have the Astra, Trample, all that good stuff. But that's kind of... I think... So that kind of fits my hypothesis then, that I had earlier when I was thinking about kind of not really ranking the skills, but kind of like ordering the priority in which you would want to focus them onto your characters. And it's that... Yeah, like, levels don't mean anything. Like, I remember someone was saying, like, oh, like, you know, this is not me trying to, like, throw shade at anyone, but I remember I had videos on my Tiki video saying that the only reason why I thought that map was so easy was because Tiki was, like, level 80, and I was playing a level 50 map. And, yeah, I guess I could sort of see that, but the thing is, though, levels don't matter. Levels do not matter whatsoever in this game. It'll give you more health, sure, But I think that's the thing, though. I think there's no particular balance when it comes to. There's no like concrete balance when it comes to the stats. It's just that some stats are simply designed to be better than others. Like resistance and defense are useful to a fault, but in a game where you're not supposed to be getting hit anyway, it's not as impactful when you're busy, you know, like with your defense crests, for example. And then you also have skills like not skills. You have speed, which is in desperate need of a buff because all it does is just increases the duration. Sorry, speed is actually okay. It increases the duration of your awakening gauge. It's just that you need to have a lot of speed for it to count, but then speed plus 10 isn't going to cut it. But seeing how strength plus 10 isn't as useful as I originally thought, I think you could totally fit that on. Huh. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining me on this amazing two-part journey with giving fully physical attackers magic damage. Turns out strength means nothing. And I guess magic would mean nothing either, unless... That's the thing, we don't know very much about this game. That's the really weird thing. Like, could it be that magic actually scales differently with weapons, or... I don't know. Like, if there were, like... If someone could, like, hack the console and then look at the... I guess the formula that are used in this game, and have a better understanding of what stats do, and also, like, a more clearer understanding of what skill crests do, now that I think about it. This is such a weird world that we're living in. Oh my goodness. It took 6 minutes and 36 seconds to beat level 64 map with magic damage Ryoma. I don't know what that says about the character, except that he's crazy good. Anyways, wow. Guys, thanks very, very much for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next build video. Take care, everyone.